People who feel lonely and isolated are more likely to die earlier, according to the WHO. So clearly, being single is expensive in ways nobody calculates. And I'm not just talking about the money, about the obvious, like paying full rent, food bills, or higher taxes than couples. I'm talking about the hidden cost, mental, emotional, physical cost, and of course the financial cost that quietly follows all of it. Because society tells you that being single is awesome, that you are free to do whatever you want to do, and that's true. But at which price? When all life has to be carried alone. So let's break down those three main costs. Number one, the physical cost is the part that people underestimate the most. As I said earlier, feeling lonely and so being single can reduce your lifespan, and you get sick more often. In fact, a 2025 study conducted over 47,000 people found that people who were always lonely had 5 more bad health days per month than those who never felt lonely. And the US Surgeon General found that loneliness increased by nearly 30% the risk of heart disease and stroke. So loneliness isn't just a mind thing. Loneliness has physical symptoms. And I have experienced this personally, the effect of long-term singleness. I have sleep issues, and I have noted a clear difference between when I sleep alone at home and when I sleep at my family's house. It's like day and night, like all my sleep issues, they vanish. And also, it takes me longer to recover. For example, I recently had an episode of food poisoning, and when normally it should take a few weeks only to recover, for me, it took nearly 2 months. And so I can tell you, I'm a living proof that being single over 35, it sucks. Because you were not designed to thrive alone. You were created for community and love. And when you don't achieve yourself in that dimension, when you don't get your daily doses of oxytocin, the hormone of love and connection and bonding, there is an imbalance and you become more vulnerable. So yes, being single has a health cost attached to it. Which leads me to number 2. The biggest hidden cost of being single is psychological. If it's not your physical health, it's your mental health that pays the bill. It's what happens when every problem, every fear, every decision stays trapped in your own head. Like, what does the text mean? Why does she do that? Am I making it bigger than it actually is? Should I do this or that? When there is no one to confide in, nobody to unburden yourself to share the mental load, then you are stuck with yourself and your own thoughts, and your mind starts looping. Loneliness becomes a mental jail. You overthink more, replay conversations more, you second-guess yourself more, and carry emotional shocks for longer because there is nobody to help you soften the impact. I survived a road accident just a week ago, and I was alone to face that traumatic experience. Nobody went with me to the hospital, nobody to support me because my family lives in another city, nobody of trust to call. I had to do the admin stuff alone, no one to help me process the stress of having to cross the street again, and even worse, nobody was there to help me face the rude police who refused to take my complaint because I am a small woman, I guess, and it's easier to reject me. So I left this accident with more psychological scars than physical ones because I had to carry everything alone. Moreover, the WHO says it, loneliness doubles your risk of depression. So the real cost of being single is not the silence of your own presence. It's the wear and tear of having to be your own therapist, your own emotional support, advisor, cheerleader, and the only decision maker in everyday life. You are the only one showing up for yourself, and it's heavy. Which leads me to number 3. That emotional cost translates into financial cost, and that part nobody talks about. When the brain lacks emotional comfort, it starts looking for replacement rewards. And in modern life, the easiest reward is consumption. You pay for a gym membership because maybe this is where you will finally meet like-minded people. For a desert, because there is nobody to make you feel seen. Uber Eats, because it feels too depressing to cook for one. Or you go to the movie theater for a bit of novelty. But you are not buying the thing, actually. You are buying a feeling, relief, comfort, distraction, dopamine. And then you label it as self-care. For me, for example, I've noted as an entrepreneur that whenever I manage to do something hard, like initiate that hard conversation, or when I manage to post a YouTube video like that one, I then reward myself. I like to go to a nice, yummy restaurant. That's my default reward mode. And also, there was a recent time where I used to go to the cafe to work there and to improve my productivity. But recently, I went there just because I wanted to be around people. And so that's the hard thing, is that when there is nobody at home to talk with and just another human presence, you have no other choice than to pay for it. Now, of course, there is the obvious financial side of being single. Single people, they have to pay full rent, full groceries, and they pay higher taxes because there is nobody to share the cost of everyday life. But honestly, I think that the biggest financial leak is not the obvious bills. It's all that I cited above, like having to pay solutions for emotional support, but also for practical support. For example, I tested delivery food because when you are, again, like a small woman carrying a pack of 6 bottles and heavy bags of groceries, it's heavy, and I have no car. And also for many people, therapy replaces emotional unloading. Dating apps replace organic connection. That is the real financial cost. And so being single really sucks. Everybody tells you being single is awesome. You are free, you have no children to take care of, you are free to travel anywhere in the world, you can do any career move without any compromise, and I get it. But what about the prison of loneliness? The cost of staying stuck with yourself. It's your stress, your mental load, your physical health, your spendings, and your capacity to face uncertainty alone. People think that our life is easy, but watch me go to the hospital alone with nobody to support me. So if you felt that being single is heavy and draining, you're not making it up. That is real. And so the next obvious question becomes, who benefits from your loneliness? From modern dating being broken? Because when you understand that the real cost goes beyond yourself, 1, you stop blaming yourself for being single and for feeling bad about it. And 2, you start seeing dating differently, not as romance anymore. And that is exactly what I tackle in that next video, how the top 1% control modern dating. Because when you see what is really at stake, you can never unsee it.